Hey gamers, welcome back to the top 15 games that I kept in my collection for 2022. These aren't necessarily all new games either, I should mention. Alright, so the first 5 all had minor little flaws. I don't know if I said this about Lords of Lydia looking back over the video, but I wish those extra modules would have added more oomph into the game. The game needs a little bit more oomph. I mean, it's fine as is, but I have a feeling playing it in the long term, I'd want a little bit more you know, something different. You know, some module that kind of turns the game on its ear a little bit. All right, but it's a great game. If it's in my collection, it stays in my collection. It's a good game. Number 10 is Victorian Masterminds. Boy, I ate crow on this. When I saw this game, it was on Amos Day's sale, maybe for $5. I went, this looks like garbage. I do not like steampunk at all. I hate that theme. But when I saw this, I was like, steampunk, bleh. But I had to get something to reach my free shipping thing. So I picked this up for $5. And I think it was one of the last ones I picked up too. And it was great. It's a keeper. Some of the other ones I got from that package are gone. They're out of my collection. But this one was a keeper. In fact, it was such a huge hit. You're taking these discs, you're placing them face down. So these discs have different actions on them that can help you in the game, or screw other players. There's one that can screw other players. And everyone's kind of paranoid about where you're putting the big one that can screw other players on. And you're going to these little areas, place them out there, then doing the actions from top to bottom. Really fun game as you're trying to build together your super weapon, steal, you know, take over the planet. I don't know, you're stealing buildings as your master plan or whatever. And every time you steal a building, the firepower increases. So you're trying to increase your firepower and get these scientists for little bonus actions. And there's tons of little bits in the game that just make it so much fun. And there's a million different ways to win this. And it was one of my gamer's favorite games. She loves it so much, she went out and bought a copy for full price. She had to have this game after it was over. And I'll be honest, my nephews are huge fans of this game too. This just really blew me away. It's a really solid game. It's still cheap online. I think you can get it for like 15 bucks now. And oh, it's well worth it. The pieces, everything. It's really beautiful. But in the Hall of Fame of Matt being wrong, this one's got to be up in there, I think. All right, my number 9. You knew I couldn't do this without mentioning Queen Games, right? Old London Bridge. Now, this is the only Queen Games that I added to my collection this year. And Old London Bridge is a game where, very simple, worker placement again. You're placing workers in a circle and a moving, I guess you could say rondelle. It's not really a rondelle, but a moving circle that moves around, adjusting cost or money that you'll get for going on certain spots. And then there's a spot in the middle that's a wild card. You can go anywhere because you can't be on the same space as another player. This game is really smart. You're going up tracks for victory points or extra bonuses in the game, which is kind of normal, or you know, to go first in the game, which is very important. You're playing cards for priority, trying to gather more of those cards. You want each one of the resources that it offers, because that's going to give you some bonus points at the end. But the key about this is you have these little inserts, these 2 long bridge inserts, and every round you're putting a building in those inserts, most likely, and building this, you know, city on these bridges. And it's really fun and very thematic, because the color shield will increase your action. Like if I have this building and it has a yellow shield on it, well, look down the line. Do any of my others have yellow shields? Well, it's going to increase the power of that action. And I love that. There's a house there that does nothing for you, but it has all 4 colored shields on it. So what my nephew did, my nephews love to try to break games. So what they did is, many times as they could, try to get that building and then try to take these other actions at the end, at the last half of the game. Sure, they had big power actions, but everyone else was so far ahead, all it did was help them catch up and still lose. And I love that because the creators thought about that. Now there is another mechanism here where all the buildings are numbered and you have to go in descending order. So if you ever break that, you're going to lose a victory point. You actually lose a building, which counts as a negative victory point. There are these trees that you can slide in between that will reset the number, and I love that too, because if it wasn't for that, the game would be kind of broken. As it is, the game goes quick. It's so much fun, and there's a lot of strategy. Again, Queen Games, close to my heart. Not number 1 on the list here, because I did get a lot of other better games, but Old London Bridge is a game that's growing on me. I actually just recently played this, and I still love it. I feel like I haven't explored all of it yet, and that's the beauty of Queen Games. All right, my number 8 is Juicy Fruits. Juicy Fruits is one I've always had my eye on. Finally got it. I don't remember how, but it's a it's a game where you're sliding the pieces around, and however many spaces you slide them, you're going to get that fruit. Use that fruit to unlock areas on your board so you can slide farther, or grab little tokens on your board that are worth victory points, you know, in the game. And even though I think it could use a few more tiles, I hope they come out with like a mini expansion of just tiles for more sliding actions. The game as it is very unique. It's a lot of fun, and it still plays fast. I played this one just a few weeks ago, and shoot, you're doing turns. All right, your turn, my turn, your turn. I just love it. I love when a game can move fast like that, and everyone taking actions really quick, everyone exactly knowing what they want or having a game plan. The game is just super smooth, and like I said, 20 minutes, you know, I think is the longest I've ever had a 4-player game go. But because everyone usually just gets the gist of it, and that's the type of games that are right up my wheelhouse. All right, so number 7 is a game that's really growing on me recently. It's the Dwarves Big Box. It's one of those co-op games. It's also got a story to tell. I think it's like 5 story arcs. We just completed the first one. Now, why, Matt? Have you not been playing it that much? No, I've been playing it a lot. It's just that I'm playing it on the hardest level. It's been killing me because we've come so close so many times getting it. And this time, every roll was, the first half of the rolls were so perfect. We didn't spawn hardly any villains. We were just rolling high on the hits we had to. Just very convenient. We happened to be in the same spot where a mission took place, where it gave us some type of bonus. Our doom marker hardly left. This is just a really fun game. Great minis. I don't know about the book series it's referring to. I don't feel like I'm missing anything of it. And as you're moving up with the council, you get to forge weapons or things that can help you, and that was a big deal. We did that one. But each campaign is going to be different. The rules are going to change. Even looking at 2, I was like, oh, this is different from the first one. Yeah, they're all a little bit different, and that's what I love about the series. I love this series. I love Dwarves Big Box. This is another one. Not to give anything away, one of my friends is going to be getting it for a present soon because they requested it because this is a fun game. But my entire gaming group loves the Dwarves. In fact, out of all these games, this may be their top. Yeah, this may be their top here. Dwarves may be the top that. But for me, it's just number 7. Because number 6 is a better game. It's After the Empire. Of course, I have a love-hate relationship with the publisher. I will never back them on a Kickstarter ever again, but not necessarily swear off their games. After the Empire is one of those castle attack games that you have in your app where you're always getting raided, but you're using your points and using that money to build up your reinforcements. But the reinforcements get more fiercer the higher you go up the track, the harder your castle seems impenetrable. And man, this is great. I did have a light discussion with the designer after my review, so I will stand corrected that it does behoove you, I think is the word I used, to go ahead and buy some of those cards if it goes into your game strategy. Because I was losing before doing that, but I was only losing by 1 or 2. And I thought, there's no purpose. It's a waste of resources to buy cards. But then I bought a few cards that gave me an edge, that gave me a leg up. Yes, I sacrificed, because the game is so smart because you're obsessed with upgrading your castle. You're obsessed with that. You want to have all 4 walls of stone, all 4 towers of stone. You want to be the best in the world, but you're killing yourself doing that. Really, I mean, literally, there's so many people that are trying to raid you, you're going to get busted through, and nothing feels worse than getting sacked in this game, because you can go a long time without getting sacked or barely getting sacked, and then finally the forces just overwhelm you and they slaughter you, and you're like, oh. But the game has a good catch-up mechanism to make up for that. Really smart game, a lot of fun. Glad I got a copy of it, but still not happy about the publisher. I thought it was one of the worst Kickstarters I've ever been a part of. All right, folks, that's it for now, but hold up. I got 5 of my favorite ones I'll talk about next time. See you then.